Okay, be honest with me. Gut answer, not the polite one. If I said we were going to work out right now, this very minute, would you be excited? Or would you suddenly remember something incredibly important you had to do?
Something incredibly important, like reorganizing my sock drawer. Honestly, it depends on the kind of exercise. If you said gym, I'd fake a limp. But my favorite way to exercise? I'd be out the door before you finish the sentence. Cycling.
Cycling? Really? I never knew that about you. I always pictured you as more of a gym for 2 weeks every January kind of person.
That was my past life, okay? I've reformed. But here's the thing. Cycling is the only form of exercise that doesn't feel like exercise to me. That's the whole secret. When something feels like work, you won't stick with it. When it feels like play, you keep coming back.
And on that note, welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Emma, your host, and this is Jake, my co-host, and now my cycling expert.
I'm not an expert. I'm a hobbyist with strong opinions and good knees. Anyway, today's topic is one we can all join in with. Your favorite way to exercise. It's a great conversation topic, and it's packed with useful vocabulary.
Exactly. Talking about exercise comes up all the time, with friends, with doctors, and small talk. So today, we're sharing our own stories, and by the end, you'll have the words to share yours. Jake, how did cycling become your thing?
Fair warning first, we're going to disagree at least once. We always do. But the cycling story isn't glamorous. A friend dragged me along to a group ride, made me come even though I kept saying no, and I borrowed a terrible old bike that was too small for me. Somehow, I loved it anyway.
That's the sign of a good hobby, enjoying it even with bad equipment and a friend who dragged you there. So what hooked?
All of it, but mostly this. The scenery keeps changing. You're not staring at the same four walls like in a gym. You're moving through the world, past fields, along rivers, up hills you didn't know existed. Every ride is different.
That's the quiet magic of it. The fitness sneaks up on you. One day you're struggling up a small hill, and 3 months later it feels flat. So, do you actually dislike the gym?
I don't dislike it exactly. I just find it boring. You know that treadmill feeling? Running and going absolutely nowhere, like a hamster on a wheel? Same four walls, same music? Give me a road and a hill any day. I'd rather be cold and wet outside than warm and bored indoors.
Cold and wet and outside. That's the slogan of your life. Okay, my favorite is the exact opposite of boring. Mine is dancing. Anywhere, anytime, any genre. I dance in the kitchen while I cook, I dance when I clean, and I've been known to dance at the bus stop when a good song comes on.
See, now I have to argue with you. Is dancing really exercise? You're just having fun and moving a bit. You're not even sweating.
Oh, I'm sweating, trust me. Try an hour of dancing and tell me your heart rate isn't up. You're out of breath, moving every muscle, burning calories. That's the definition of cardio. The only difference is it doesn't feel like punishment, so people actually do it.
Okay, fair point. And I've seen dance classes. They're brutal. Some instructors make a spinning class look like a picnic. So do you take actual classes, or is it all kitchen and bus stop?
Both. I took a class for a while, and it was fantastic. The music, the energy, the teacher shouting encouragement while we all tried not to collapse. But honestly, the kitchen is my real studio. Dancing alone just resets your brain. It releases endorphins, you know?
Endorphins. For anyone listening, those are the feel-good chemicals your body releases when you exercise. That's what people mean by a runner's high, that floaty, happy feeling after a good workout. It's real, and it's addictive.
Addictive in the best way. Although, have you heard the saying, no pain, no gain? Some people live by it. They think if it doesn't hurt, it doesn't count.
I've always hated that saying. Exercise shouldn't be about pain. If you're in pain, you're pushing too hard, too fast. For me, it's more like no fun, no follow-through. If it isn't enjoyable, you won't keep doing it.
No fun, no follow-through. I like that. And it explains the January gym rush. Everyone joins with big plans, and by February, it's half empty. The motivation fizzles out, slowly fades away.
Oh, the January gym rush. I've been part of that crowd so many times.
You walk in on January 2nd, and there are no machines free. By February, it's you, 2 other people, and the staff. The enthusiasm never survives contact with real life.
So let's hear it. What's your worst gym story? I feel one coming. You have that look.
Fine. A few years ago, I signed up for a year-long membership because it was on sale. I went exactly 3 times. 3. Do the math. It cost me about £50 per visit. And the 3rd time, I got lost on the way to the changing room. That's the whole story. I never went back.
Got lost in your own gym? That's incredible. Did you at least try home workouts? I tried those YouTube videos, with the impossibly cheerful instructor.
I did try one, actually. Once. The instructor was so cheerful at 6 in the morning that I felt personally judged. She was smiling through the whole thing, telling me I was doing great, while I lay on the floor questioning every decision I'd ever made. I closed the laptop and never opened it again.
Personally judged by a cheerful woman on a screen. Okay, let's get serious. Why do most people struggle to stick with exercise? It's not just laziness. There's more to it.
Honestly, most people pick exercise they secretly hate. They choose the activity that sounds most impressive, not the one they'd actually enjoy. They run because running looks good on paper, even though they dread every minute. You can't build a habit out of something you dread.
That's a really good point. So the key is finding movement you actually enjoy, movement you look forward to. Because the best workout isn't the one that burns the most calories, it's the one you actually do.
Exactly. The best workout is the one you actually do. I'm stealing that. And it applies to everything. Walking counts, dancing counts, taking the stairs instead of the lift counts. If your heart beats a little faster and you feel better after, it counts.
I love that. And people underestimate walking. It's not dramatic, but it's so good for you. Gentle on the body, and you can do it anywhere.
Oh, completely. My grandmother is 82, and she walks 5 kilometers every single day, rain or shine. She puts us all to shame. Makes us look bad by comparison. She's fitter than everyone I know under 40, and she's never stepped foot in a gym in her life.
Puts us all to shame. Great expression. It means making someone look bad because you're so much better at something. And your grandmother is living proof that it's not about intensity. It's about showing up day after day.
Right. Consistency beats intensity every time. Doing a little every day beats doing a lot once a week. It's like watering a plant. A little regularly keeps it alive, but drowning it once a month doesn't work at all.
That's such a good image. Consistency over intensity. And that's the difference between people who exercise and people who used to exercise. The ones who keep going have built it into their lives, like brushing their teeth. It's not a decision anymore.
Exactly. And that's when it stops being hard. The first few weeks are the hardest. Your body's complaining, your schedule's adjusting, but after a month, it becomes automatic. You don't think about it anymore. You just do it.
Okay, confession time. I have never bought more gear for a hobby than when I briefly tried running. New shoes, headphones, leggings, the whole outfit. I looked amazing. I ran twice.
Oh, the gear trap. I know it well. I have a full cycling wardrobe. Jackets, gloves, lights, a helmet with vents, special socks. I bought most of it before I could even ride in a straight line. Buying equipment feels like progress, even when it's not.
The gear gives you permission to imagine the person you're going to become. But the hard part isn't the shopping, it's the showing up.
Totally. The gear is the easy part. The showing up is the real work. And that's why motivation alone never lasts. You rely on habit, on routine, on getting out the door before your brain talks you out of it.
Getting out the door before your brain talks you out of it. So true. But now your worst exercise story. I told you about my 2 runs, and you told me about the gym. Fair's fair.
Okay, fine. I once signed up for a yoga class because I thought it would be relaxing. Relaxing! The instructor had us holding a pose until my legs were shaking like a washing machine. Everyone else looked calm. I was one deep breath away from crying. I never went back.
A yoga class that nearly broke you. That's beautiful. So between the gym, the home workouts, and the yoga, you've quit a lot of things. What made cycling stick?
That's the million-dollar question. I think it's because I never decided to get fit. I just found something I loved. The exercise was a side effect, a bonus, along with the fun. When the fun comes first, the fitness follows.
The fitness comes as a side effect of the fun. That's going on the poster. And for our English learners, we've been using phrasal verbs all episode without thinking. Work out, sign up, keep up, give up, warm up. They're everywhere in this topic.
Good spot. Phrasal verbs are the glue of natural English, and exercise is full of them. I work out 3 times a week. I signed up for a class. I gave up running. Learn those, and you'll sound native in no time.
And there are great idioms, too. Getting out of breath, when you can't breathe easily because you've been moving fast. And puffing and panting is the informal, funny version.
Puffing and panting. That's me after any sprint. And there's taking up something when you start a new hobby. I took up cycling. She took up yoga. So much more natural than I started doing.
Exactly. So, quick question, Jake. Do you prefer exercising alone or with other people? I know people who can't do either. They need company or they can't focus. Which one are you?
For cycling, I mostly ride alone, honestly. It's my thinking time, my escape. But a few years ago, I joined a local group for Saturday rides. It was different. Chatting while we climbed, pushing each other to go faster. I loved it. Just not enough to do it every week.
So you're both? Depends on the mood. I'm the same with dancing. Sometimes I need a full class around me. Sometimes I need the kitchen and a terrible pop song.
And we've established the kitchen is a valid exercise studio. That's the beauty of it. Exercise isn't one size fits all. It's about finding your version, your pace, your music, your place. That's what makes it stick.
And that's why I think look good, feel good is real. Does buying new workout clothes make you exercise more? Or is that just an excuse to shop?
It's definitely an excuse to shop, but I also think it helps in a small way. When you've spent money on good gear, a little voice in your head says, you can't waste that. And sometimes that voice is enough to get you out the door on a rainy Tuesday.
So it's like paying yourself in advance. Okay, let's talk about the mental side of exercise, the part people don't expect. When you come back from a ride, how do you feel?
Like a different person. Seriously. Before the ride, I might be stressed, tired, stuck in my own head. After, everything feels lighter. The problems are still there, but smaller. There's a saying I live by. You never regret a workout. I've never finished a ride and wished I hadn't.
You never regret a workout. The truest sentence we've said all episode. And it's not just in your head. It's biology. Exercise releases endorphins, which lift your mood and burns off the stress hormones that build up during the day.
Exactly. My doctor once told me exercise is the closest thing we have to a magic pill. It's good for your heart, your brain, your sleep, your mood. Not about looking a certain way. It's about feeling like yourself. That's the real reason.
So the real reason to exercise is how it makes you feel afterward, not how it makes you look. That reframes everything, doesn't it?
It does. Because if you exercise just to look different, you'll quit the moment results slow down. But if you exercise because of how it feels, the energy, the calm, the pride in showing up, that's something you'll keep for life. The after feeling is the addiction.
But be honest, are there days when you don't want to go? Days when the bed wins?
Oh, absolutely. The bed wins sometimes. I'm not superhuman. But I've learned something. The hardest part is always the beginning, getting out the door, the first 10 minutes. After that, your body remembers what it's doing. I just have to win the first 10 minutes.
The first 10 minutes. I have a trick for that. I tell myself I'll only do 10 minutes. If I still hate it after 10, I can stop. No guilt, no drama. And you know what? I've never actually stopped after 10 minutes. Once I'm moving, I always want to keep going.
That's the most dangerous lie you can tell yourself. Just 10 minutes. But it works, doesn't it? Because the hardest part isn't the exercise. It's the starting. If you can trick your brain into starting, the rest takes care of itself.
Exactly. So what about people who say they hate every kind of exercise? I'm just not a sporty person. What would you say to them?
I'd say they haven't found their thing yet.
There are hundreds of ways to move. Swimming, climbing, dancing, hiking, yoga, martial arts, roller skating, trampolining. Somewhere out there, there's a movement that will click for them. They just haven't met it yet.
Click. Lovely word. For anyone listening, when something clicks, it suddenly feels right, like a puzzle piece sliding into place. And it's true. I thought I hated exercise for years. Then I found dance, and it stopped being exercise.
Exactly. It was play. And that's the difference between people who exercise and people who don't. It's not willpower. It's finding the version that feels like play instead of work. You're not more disciplined than me, Emma. You just found your dame.
I love that. So what's your dream exercise scenario? If money and time weren't an issue, what does the perfect day look like?
Oh, easy. A long bike ride through the mountains. Early morning, mist still on the hills, just me and the road. I stop at a tiny village cafe for coffee and a pastry, then ride home feeling like I've earned every bite. My version of paradise. One day, a proper cycling tour. That's the dream.
A cycling tour. Riding for days, carrying your bags, sleeping somewhere new every night? That sounds amazing and terrifying at once. Would you actually train for it or just hope for the best?
I'd like to think I'd train for it, but I also know myself. I'd buy the lightweight bags first, pack them, and maybe do a few long rides. The dreaming is free. The training is the expensive part.
The dreaming is free. I know a friend who signed up for a marathon and trained for exactly 1 week. He hit the wall at kilometer 30. You know, when your body suddenly runs out of energy, and walked the last 12 kilometers.
Hit the wall. Great idiom. It means to suddenly feel completely exhausted, like you can't take another step. And I love that his story ends with walking and regretting. The most honest marathon story I've ever heard.
He finished, technically. Gracefully is a strong word. But he still talks about that marathon with pride. He learned something about himself that day. That's what exercise does. Even when it goes badly, it teaches you what you're made of.
Yeah. You find out what you're capable of when you push a little further than you thought you could. And that lesson carries over into everything. Work, relationships, life. If you can run 1 more kilometer, you can probably do 1 more hour of anything.
Okay, so let's gather the wisdom. If you had to give our listeners one piece of advice about exercise, just one, what would it be?
Find movement you love. That's it. Don't do it to punish yourself. Don't do it because it looks impressive. Don't do it because someone else does it. Find the thing that makes you feel alive and do that, because the only exercise you'll stick with is the one you enjoy.
And I'd add, start small and don't compare yourself to anyone. That's the trap. You see someone running a marathon and your 10-minute walk suddenly feels pointless. But there's a saying, comparison is the thief of joy. It steals your happiness.
That's a good one. Your walk isn't pointless. It's your starting point. Everyone starts somewhere. The marathon runner was once someone who couldn't run a kilometer. Compare yourself only to the person you were yesterday.
Beautifully said. And one more thing. It goes back to something we said in an earlier episode. Consistency, not perfection. If you miss a day, it's a speed bump, not a brick wall. You just get back on the bike. No pun intended.
Get back on the bike. I see what you did there. And you're right. One missed day isn't the end of the world. It's the decision to quit that's the problem. So be kind to yourself and just show up again tomorrow.
So here's the challenge for this week. Try one new way to move your body. Just one. A walk at sunrise, a dance in the kitchen, a swim, a stretch, a bike ride. Try it once and notice how you feel afterward.
And tell us about it in the comments. What's your favorite way to exercise? We genuinely want to know. Maybe Emma will finally try cycling, or I'll finally try dancing. The comments are our shared gym.
The comments are our shared gym. I love that. And for our English learners, this topic is perfect for conversation practice because everyone has an opinion. What's your favorite way to exercise? Do you prefer the gym or the outdoors? Great small talk.
Absolutely. And you've got the vocabulary now. Work out, take up, keep fit, get out of breath, warm up, cool down, stick with it, give up. Use them this week.
Text a friend in English. Have a real conversation about exercise. That's the real workout.
Okay, let me land this properly because I want to end on something real. Exercise isn't really about exercise, is it? It's about the relationship you have with yourself. It's a promise you keep to yourself week after week. It's self-respect in motion.
Self-respect in motion, going on the poster. And you're right. When you exercise, you're telling yourself that you matter. Your health, your energy, your future. And there's nothing selfish about that. You can't take care of anyone else if you don't take care of yourself.
And your body is the only home you'll ever live in. Keep it in good shape. Not for anyone else, but for you. Whether it's cycling, dancing, walking, or swimming, find your movement. Your body will thank you.
Your body is the only home you'll ever live in. Beautiful way to think about it. Honestly, that's the whole episode in one sentence. Take care of your home. It's the one that matters most.
So, whether it's a mountain road or a kitchen floor, the point is to move in a way that feels good. Once you find your movement, it stops being exercise. It just becomes part of who you are.
And that's when it stops feeling like a chore, a boring task you have to get through, and starts feeling like a treat, something you look forward to, the sweet spot.
So, one last question, the same one I asked at the beginning. If I said we were going to work out right now, would you make an excuse?
Depends on the workout. If it's a bike ride, I'm already out the door. If it's a treadmill, I suddenly remember an incredibly important thing I have to do. My sock drawer.
The sock drawer strikes again. Okay, everyone, thank you for being with us today. Find the exercise that doesn't feel like exercise, and you'll never have to force it. See you next time. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. And remember, the best workout is the one you actually do. Whether it's a hill, a dance floor, or just a walk around the block, move in a way that makes you feel alive. Take care and see you next time.